Hello and welcome along to the Project Cars 2 Virtual Racing League, where today you join us for another round in what promises to be a fascinating conclusion to this championship as we head in now to the last few rounds. And today, as you can see on screen, we're at Texas Infield circuit, so not the Texas Oval that a lot of people are used to, but the racetrack in the middle, but actually that is kind of an oval too. Only 2 or 3 corners I think involves for the drivers tonight, but that should hopefully keep the field very close. But not that we need that, because this championship has been extremely close already. So Texas, they're round 9. Like I say, only 3 more to go after this one, so championship run in now, and you can see it's very, very close at the top of both leaderboards there. 2 classes as ever, so it's GT5s on the left hand side of the screen there, and the juniors on the right hand side. It's Chris Doherty versus Alex CDL, with Free-Gazelle not far behind them as the battle goes on for the GT5 crown. And then in the juniors, it's Scuderia Sam and Stuart Davis who have emerged at the top there, with Scuderia Sam having a 2-point margin at the moment, but he won't be racing today, so this is a really good opportunity for Stuart Davis to claw back some ground there, with Luke McGee, D-Man and Roger the Dodger also having a fantastic battle there for 3rd, 4th and 5th. In the midfield as well, in the GT5s, it's extremely close, as is the Teams Championship. Team Spin is only 10 points ahead of Team Island at the moment, so fierce battle going on there between those 4 drivers. Team Knotmates in 3rd at the moment, so Brosa, McGee is, well actually they're in 3rd, so that's the one we ran that championship order. They're on 89 points, and then Prima Case isn't far behind either, then in 5th. Crash and Bash as ever, they're always present in this championship, in this league I should say, they're in 6th. So let's have a little look at the starting grid, Alex.
On pole is Sabrosa, but with an identical time as Alex CDL, but Sabrosa did his lap first, so he gets pole. Followed by under half a second by Stalker Brown, then Bad Wolf and Free-Gazelle, and missing from the GT5 grid is Chris Doherty, so that'll be huge for the championship. Then for the juniors, you got Roger, Dr. and Paul, followed by Stu, D-Man, Loopy and McKevs.
Yeah, both championship leaders not present, so really good opportunity to close the field up today. As Subrosa on pole position and Alex CDL alongside him, equal times in qualifying, incredible. Like you say, it's Stuart Davis getting pincered there by a couple of GT5s, but looks like he had a great start, but now he's down to 9th place, battling with Luke McGee there, the Scotsman on the outside. Stuart Davis spinning round now. This is not what he needs to make up the ground on Scuderia Sam today. Alex CDL as well, he needs to close the gap to Chris Doherty. Sabrosa as well fighting in that championship quite closely, but Alex CDL's had a poor run out of that quick chicane in the middle of the circuit and under threat now, but he just about hangs on to 2nd. This has given Sabrosa a great little lead here to break away from him as they head up to lap 1. A very short lap here to complete lap 1. And look at this, Free-Gazelle is on the hunt now. He's in 4th place. He's right behind Stalker Brown. Stalker Brown in the unfamiliar red vehicle there. We're usually seeing him in the white car, and Big Bad Wolf in the ever-present yellow liveried car there. He's got a great run here on Free-Gazelle. Free-Gazelle's run a little bit wide. I think he was trying to attack Stalker Brown, but he outbraked himself, and Big Bad Wolf doesn't need a second invitation there to take away 4th position. Free-Gazelle gets demoted to 5th now, and last of the GT5 runners. We've got 10 runners here today, 5 in each category. A nice even split, Alex.
Yeah, really nice even split. As we see Sabrosa already with a 1 second lead. That's great pace from him. You can see he did 44 instead of 45, which Alex did. You have to imagine Alex might be playing safe, no Chris racing, so you'll want to get as many points as you can, but not risk much. You see Stalker Brown in a great 3rd place there, and in the similar liveried junior car, it's Roger the Dodger leading the way in juniors, with D-Man close behind in 2nd.
Yeah, Roger the Dodger's had a great second half of this championship, in fairness, so far. He won at Silverstone brilliantly a little bit earlier on, and he's had a couple of quiet rounds, but here he is leading the way. He's got some great pace at some of these circuits, and it looks like D-Man is struggling at the moment to keep hold of him, but can't count D-Man out. He's always there or thereabouts, isn't he? And Alex CDL now, it looks like he's coming under pressure from Stalker Brown. This is a man who's been on the hunt recently too, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been really good recently. He's got his head around these GT5s. He's been pushing for race wins and podiums on the regular now. So it's seen now going through the little chicaney bit at the centre of the Texas Infield. Quite tricky in these because it does have a little bump and centre, both braking really late, and Stalker Brown's all over the back of that orange and black Ginetta of Alex, but not quite there just yet. He'll get a slipstream into the first corner through the second chicane. You see Sabrosa in the distance here, but he seems to be just checking out at this point.
Yeah, we never know, of course, what drivers, in terms of their preferences, might come to them later on in the race, the cars, so they can a bit heavy on fuel at the moment. And you can see Richard, Big Bad Wolf rather, he's a bit heavy on fuel, he runs a little bit wide, too much understeer. And Free Gazelle there, he didn't need a second invitation this time to get that position back, did he? But Big Bad Wolf, he's still tucked nicely behind Free Gazelle here. Is he going to go for a dive into the last corner? Free Gazelle defends that space. Big Bad Wolf tries to get the cut back here, but he's run a little bit wide himself now, and I think that's Free Gazelle up into 4th position. Nice little battle going on between those two for 4th and 5th position at the moment.
Yeah, really good battle. You have to imagine those two battling towards the end. Pit stops will come into it as well. And the interesting thing with this track is to see Stalker Brand using the grass. They're not ideal for him. Is they made a pit for tyres. Some might, some probably will, because this is really heavy on the left front tyre. It wears quite badly with a lot of laps for this track, as it is a short track. It could be quite interesting towards the end.
Yeah, I think they only turn right once on this circuit, don't they? Sorry, turn left once on this circuit. The rest are right-hand corners, and long right-hand corners as well, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah, there's not many corners for the drivers, but in any which way, most of them are right-handed. And and that's Stuart Davis nearly taking out his teammate Alex Idiel. Where's Stuart off to? He's rallying, he's on the infield, he's going to try and find his way back to the circuit now. I think is that Looping Buck G coming past? I don't know who that was. It could have been Sabrosa. Sabrosa's made his pit stop by the looks of it. He's down to 5th now. But so race leader, or net race leader, Sabrosa down to 5th, and Stuart Davis having an absolute nightmare here today. Yeah,
especially when he needs to get as many points as he can on Sam. And these last in juniors is not. It's proving costly for him.
I mean, we've made a bit of fun of the circuit being quite, short and small, and but no short jokes, please, Alex. But but is it actually quite a technical circuit for the drivers?
In a way, yes, but as I said, it's only, I think, 5 corners if that. As we see Alex pitting now, he's going in. I think he's trying to cover Sabrosa off, but it'd be interesting to see if he takes tyres. It will drop him right back. But back to your question, it can be, because if you take too much to these corners, especially these longs, hairpin, you can go straight on. That grass is unforgiving. You see a hovering Alex there, so that assumes he's getting tyres. Don't know how many, because you can choose how many tyres you want, but with how long he's in the pits, you have to imagine that's 4. But yeah, the track, it can be quite tricky, especially with the weird cambered middle bit. As you see the Ginetta of Alex leaving the pits, he'll be coming out right next to the leaders of juniors, so this is going to be really tricky now. Does he avoid them? Yeah, you see him there, he's getting out of the way, but he will be coming back at them pretty fast, so this isn't ideal for him. He's going to lose some time here.
Yeah, and of course he is actually racing with these guys for position right now, as you can see on the screen, because he's made that pit stop, and with those fresh tyres, he really wants to be getting them in the zone and working well, so he can, hopefully for his sake, come back at the rest of the GT5 pack later on in the race. 30 laps here of this relatively short circuit, and this is D-Man just about getting out of the way there. He's trying to hunt down, oh no, he's ahead of Roger the Dodger, sorry, so D-Man has passed Roger the Dodger.
Yeah, I think that's Neil. Neil lapped Alex when he came out the pits, so that just proves how long taking tyres took for Alex, that he actually got lapped whilst in the pits. But he is definitely pulling away from Neil, so that shows just the advantage he's got already, and it's only been 10 laps.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's Roger the Dodger in that red vehicle. We're used to only seeing one red car, aren't we, out on circuit, so it's pretty confusing today for us. But that's Free Gazelle. Oh, and he's coming back down the inside here.
That's on
of McEvs. I'm sorry, Alex, you take over. I'm completely confused who's who.
Different liveries for some reason this race. Yeah, but McEvs, who's behind Stu now, but I think he was saying that he's having issues with his car. He's struggling with how it's handling, so it's not a surprise he's that far back. We can see Roger now really coming back at D-Man, looking on the inside. That's going to be a tricky overtake. As you see, they hop over that first bit, so they lose a bit of traction. But Roger's all over the back of the Irishman, looking around the outside. That'd be brave. Will he try the cut back? D-Man tries to hold on as tight as possible. You can just see the run Roger gets out there. It's really good.
Yeah, he really hooked up that apex perfectly, that late apex, to give him the run onto the straight, and he's tucked right underneath the back now with this green machine. And Roger the Dodger going on the attack. Will he look around the outside? He's going to have to, because D-Man is covering the inside line very nicely indeed. Runs a little bit wide, a little bit of a squiggle coming out of turn 1. Roger though still on the outside, but he might have the inside if he gets into the chicane with a nose ahead. And he right around the outside. Fantastic manoeuvre from Roger. Oh, where's D-Man? D-Man's made an error, and side by side there, and he's gone off. It's quite an easy one to do, like you say, Alex. A little bit of camber there too. D-Man now on the grass. Oh, he's going to find it tricky to get back up to speed from there, and he's losing loads and loads of time, but he's still, according to the chart, second in the junior race. If he could just keep it on the tarmac now, get going again. But that's robbed us of what was a fantastic fight there between him and Roger the Dodger. But Roger there would be very relieved to see a little bit of space now behind him.
Yeah, I'd be quite happy with that. He might be a bit disappointed there'd be no battle in, but they said it's his to lose now. And it looks like we've got the junior of McEvs in the pits. Looks like he's retired with that handling issues. We see Wolf go past Loopy in the blue junior. Don't see much of Loopy. He usually has a very quiet race to himself and just cracks on with it.
Yeah, he's a really solid driver, is Loopy McGee, and but he's not scared to get his elbows out. We've seen him in the past, haven't we? And getting on the podium regularly, and he's had his skirmishes with McEvs as well in the muck battles of this championship so far. Back at Rupuna, the last round actually, he had a fantastic battle with McEvs there. But McGee at the moment, he finds himself now looking at one of his other nemesis, Stuart Davis, who's coming back at him at the moment. He's had a very good lap last time round with Stuart Davis, so we'll have to keep our eyes open on that battle, Alex, to see what happens there as we look at Free Gazelle at the moment, the race leader in the GT5s. Hasn't made his stop yet, but he's only 3-4 seconds ahead of Subrosa, who is the net leader.
Yeah, you'll have to imagine he'll be pitting soon, especially if he wants to come out of in front of Stalker Brown and Alex, because they're only 20 odd seconds now behind, and it's such a short pit lane. If you don't take tyres and take that risk, you can get away with it. And it looks like Stalker Brown's caught up to Wolf now, right on the back of him. I'm not sure if Wolf's pitted either, so that's why he's in the podium positions. But this will be quite interesting if he holds it up, because Neil jumped. Stalker Brown's jumped Alex, and Wolf's getting right out of the way there. He might get caught up with D-Man, but D-Man stays to the left side of the track, out of the way, not to interfere with anyone. He said there's a battle brewing here and he doesn't want to get involved.
Yeah, well, D-Man now, he just needs to secure second place in the juniors, but this battle is fantastic between Stalker Brown, Big Bad Wolf, and Alex CDL. Alex CDL's got past Big Bad Wolf as well now, so he's up to 4th, and the hunt continues. So Alex CDL versus Stalker Brown for 3rd place at the moment, but Free Gazelle, where is he going to feed into all of this by the time he makes his stop? It'll be really interesting to see, because it could really spice things up, to be honest, if he comes out of the pit lane with these two battling at the same time.
Yeah, it'd be really good. I think speaking with Stalker Brown, he took just 2 front tyres, so he has fresh tyres on the front as well. So that's why these two.
Interesting.
That's why these guys had such a long pit compared to, say, Subrosa, who's well up on them, almost 20 seconds ahead. So he clearly just went in and out, didn't bother with tyres, but that's going to be risky towards the end. And they're only halfway through the race now, and there's still 13 laps left, or 12 now as they go on to lap 18.
Well, very interestingly, so far Subrosa is lapping faster than anybody else on the circuit. So comparable lap times actually to Alex CDL. So we'll have to watch where that crossover point is. We could be approaching it pretty soon. Look, judging by Alex's time, he just pumped in there. Compared to Subrosa's. Oh, what's going on there? Some incident at the side of the circuit. So we'll have to see where that crossover is and whether Alex CDL can close that gap. But it's a pretty big gap, to be honest. 20 seconds in 10 laps.
Yeah, that's a big difference there. It'd be quite hard for him to catch. But I think that was Free Gazelle pitting in the background. Obviously, his teammate McGevs has retired from the race. He's in the pits, and you see Alex going past his teammate Stu in the orange colour cars, and Free Gazelle has jumped them for second place. So that's going to be interesting. It doesn't look like he's taking tyres at all, so he's taking the risk.
Oh, this is fascinating to see now. Definitely stay with this one because it could be, well, we don't know what the order of the podium is going to be. Do we? Look, do you see Stalker Brown there? He's just kicking that wheel onto the grass a little bit, and this is giving Alex CDL a fantastic run now as they head over the line and into turn 1. Alex CDL looking down the inside, he dives for it, and Stalker Brown sees him coming. He tries for the switchback, but Alex CDL just about manages to stop the car in time and get a good exit. And I think, Stalker Brown, no, he's looking down the inside of the fast chicane. He'd have to be very brave to send one down there, and he just backs out of it pretty wisely, and Alex CDL is through now, and I think he's got a lot of pace at the moment. Oh, he's spun though, he's drifting it. He's, fair play to Alex CDL. I don't know how he held that one. That was like something out of Tokyo Drift. I think probably Stalker Brown was thinking the same thing, because he went right off the track to avoid him and then realised that Alex CDL somehow made the apex.
Yeah, and somehow in all that, he's actually time on Stalker Brown as well. Oh, that's very wide from Alex. As we cut away now to Stu with Wolf going past him, and see the leader there, Roger. The Stu and Juniors, so that's not going very well. You see D-Man a bit further back. Stalker Brown now trying to hold on to Alex, but I think Alex got a bit more pace, especially on that last lap. It was almost a second faster, so it's all close, but they've got to catch. And you can see he might be struggling a bit because he's in the 40 seconds now.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So, but Alex CDL, I mean, he might need to come in for tyres again after if he does too many more drifts around these corners, flat spots in them like that. But it did look spectacular, and I think he might just win the fan favourite award so far today if nobody else does anything spectacular. We'll have to wait and see. BDCC Dan, of course, normally takes home that award, but he's not racing with us today. Stuart Davis, though, he's not looking at taking home any awards today, is he? Being lapped, that's very unusual for him. He's just having an absolute shocker.
Yeah, he might take home the Explorer award with the amount of off tracks he's had. So we see
that's a good point.
He's battling with Loopy, it looks like. So he's battling it. Oh, they're coming together. They're side by side, and Roger doesn't want to get involved with this. He'll try and avoid that. You see him flashing the lights. Get out of my way, I'm coming through. I'm lapping you. You're too slow. Will Stu let him pass? No, he's still flashing. Stu stubborn as ever. He'll probably make him go the long way around, knowing him.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all, and I think he fancies a bit of a scrap, to be honest. But his race today is with Luke McGee, who's only a second or so up the road there. As you see, Subrosa, race leader, coming through on them to lap them again there. So you have to bear in mind that with the quite short laps here, the GT5s will probably lap the juniors quite a few times here. So the juniors won't end up doing those 30 laps, will they? They'll end up doing probably 26 or something. So a few laps less for these guys to try and make up the positions that they're looking for. So Stuart Davis now, let's have a look, he's tucked right behind Luke McGee here. Luke McGee is obviously aware that he's there, but if you were Roger the Dodger here, what would you be doing? Because these two are battling hard and you've got a massive gap back to D-Man.
Well, I think he's shown his hand there. He's gone up the inside of Stu, so he definitely wants to get past and he wants to keep building his lead, but he's in the middle of two cars balance. It looks like Loopy just lets off the throttle and it's caught out Stu a bit there. He had to get on the brakes. So that's closed the gap up between those two now. Loopy being nice to Rogers not helped him at all, and you can see the front end of that just not wanting the grip. He's gone wide.
Washing out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's allowed Stu up on the inside. They're going into the chicane. Stu on the outside, Loopy on the inside. This is going to be close. Oh no, it's ended in tears. They're in the barrier.
Oh, you can see that one coming from a mile away, to be honest. These two, it's not the first time they've come to blows, is it? And look at the debris littering the track. As you can see, the GT5 squeezing past them there, and ICDL hunting down Free Gazelle. But yeah, to be honest, that was entirely predictable.
Yeah, you can, like I say, you can see it coming from a mile away. It was all brewing up, and at least they're a bit lighter now, so they might get some better times in. But oh, Alex has really caught Free Gazelle up.
Yeah, almost giving him a little nudge there, as if a little hurry-up nudge going through the chicane. Free-Gazelle goes very defensive. He's still in second place, and he's holding off the fresher tired Alex CDL, who has a great cutback. You can just see how much more lively the car is actually at this stage of the race now. It's starting to pay dividends having these fresh tyres, but is it too little, too late? We'll have to wait and see as he goes down the inside. Free-Gazelle now, he's too late to defend that one, I think, is he? He brakes very late. Great defence from Free-Gazelle there, sticking it right round the outside, making Alex CDL work for it. Alex CDL didn't get through, so really good defensive driving from Free-Gazelle.
Yeah, he did a really good job there, just blocking where you need to. Alex gets a lot better run out there, whether it's grip it back. Looking around the outside, this would be very brave if he tries this. Imagine Free-Gazelle try and push him outright. Alex going around the outside. Yeah, you can just see how much more grip he's got, and Free-Gazelle still covers. He's right on the bumper of him. He can't get rid of him. You see Alex having to hit the brakes not to run into the back of him. Free-Gazelle inside line, braking nicely, holding that tighter line, forcing Alex around the outside, and I think Alex has the grip to go around. Oh, it's side by side.
Touch. Just about give each other enough room. Alex CDL's run wide though, but Free-Gazelle couldn't quite capitalise on it unless he goes for a dive down here. I think Alex CDL's quite wise to that. I think you probably guessed that might happen. So we covered the inside nicely, and that's job done from Alex CDL. Great overtake there through a very tricky corner to go side by side, as we've seen.
Yeah, especially like we saw earlier with D-Man going and flying off. It is tricky, but as you see, it can be done, but only when you got fresher tyres.
Yeah, now he has to try and use these fresh tyres to close in 18 seconds within the next couple of laps. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? So, but Subrosa's done a great job with his tyres, maybe a little bit of good tyre management as well, because his lap times are still very competitive, even though we think he didn't take on any fresh tyres. So, yeah, really impressive stuff from Subrosa. And look at this going on here. Down the inside, Stalker Brown now, he's trying to get past Free-Gazelle, so there's no respite, is there, for Free-Gazelle at this stage of the race? He's just constant under attack at the moment, and Stalker Brown trying to get his way through there, cutting the chicane quite nicely. He's looking down the inside, rising on board now with that lovely red bonnet, and Free-Gazelle dive into the inside as if to say, no, you're not going to come through here today, but he's run wide himself now, and that's an easy overtake for Stalker Brown.
Yeah, I think, like you said earlier, it was a great overtake from Stalker Brown, but I think the cut-off point is coming right now, as you see Subrosa going through for quite an easy win, but his tyres were dropping off massively towards the end. He was a 41.1 compared to the 39s of the guys that changed tyres. But a great win for him there. You see Alex coming home second. He'll be happy with that. That's good points towards Chris's lead. Followed by Stalker Brown and Free-Gazelle fourth, and then Wolf be coming around the final corner now.
Yeah, Wolf had a bit of a quieter race, that one, but fantastic battle for second, third and fourth in the GT5s. Really enjoyable to watch that. And Roger the Dodger, a dominant display today after D-Man took himself out of the equation when they were battling together. D-Man, though, will be comfortably second, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. He's lapped Stuart Davis, who comes in third place. And then Luke McGee in the end was behind Stuart Davis after their little coming together. And sadly, McEvs was the only retiree from the race.
Yeah, that's a shame really. Hopefully he sorts out for the next race, but we'll see. The final finishing positions, Subrosa with a dominant win in GT5, followed by quite closely in the end, CDL from Stalker Brown for Free-Gazelle, and then Wolf coming up home in fifth. Then another dominant win by Roger the Dodger, followed by D-Man in the driver standings.
Yeah, look at that now, 1 point in it in the GT5s between Chris Doherty and Alex CDL, two of the most successful drivers in the league, it has to be said. 1 point in it, 3 rounds to go. Can't wait to see how that pans out. And Free-Gazelle, Subrosa and Big Bad Wolf all very close as well for that final, for that third place in the championship. And now Stuart Davis takes the lead over from Scuderia Sam after his no-show today. 4 points in it though, so it's still very close. Stuart didn't quite capitalise on it as much as he might have hoped for, and Roger the Dodger's not far behind after his great win today as well. And D-Men as well, they're having a great battle. And Luke McGee, they're all having a great battle. Team standings, Alex, Team Spin is still leading the way. In fact, they extended their lead.
Yeah, with no Chris in for Team Island, they've lost a heap of points. So Team Spin getting a nice healthy lead out with 127 from 111.
Yeah, exactly, and of course very competitive in the Teams Championship as well. So it's great actually, it's so close heading into the last 3 rounds, keeps it nice and exciting. So join us next time, and thank you for watching from Alex and I.